I guess actually, you know what? Let's get this thing kicked off in the way that it should get kicked off, which is no, hold on. What is this here? What is this? Okay. Okay. So Sanders definitely been spending some time in here. Interesting. Now these definitely look familiar. I think let's get it kicked off with a vote. I'm not anticipating this is going to be like one of those real high intensity ones. But yeah, I figure, you know what? I will let y'all decide. So I'm going to put a poll in chat here. This is going to be a very comfortable stream. This is one of those AM streams. Like I said, not by much, but what do we want to start with? Should we start with building the pyramid maze, or exploring new territory? What do we want to do? And it won't let me. I don't have enough characters for a question mark on that second one. It's a wild sander's natural habitat. This is where a sander lives when just sort of when unaffiliated with the natural world, with the civilized world. This is the default state that a sander will enter. Hello, a sander. I am going to jump over in Discord. Yes, yes, indeed. All right. Get the stage started. All right, there we go. Tuna, Tammy, Monkey, Hindrax, how do y'all do? Please ignore the farm animals. Orly Rose says, my vote is dig a really deep hole and show Orly Rose how to climb out of it. Actually, I mean, if you do want to know, if you do need some hot tips as to how to get yourself out of a deep hole, basically, the only decent way to do it is you have to go ahead and mine whatever is next to you, and then use that to jump your way up. So, straight up, it's just frankly, it's just a long process of especially if you don't have any sticks on you, because then you're not going to be able to create the tools that will make this go quickly. It's going to go pretty darn slow. All right. Okay, so I'm going to explore. I think I'm going to explore not in creative mode. I want to see how that treats me. Now there's a sander around here somewhere, but I couldn't tell you where if I wanted to. Oh, there we go. Hey, Sander. Sander's wearing a pretty sweet cape. Okay, well, if I'm going exploring for a bit, then let's see what exploring there is to do. First of all, I feel like I can explore some of the stuff that is already here. I just want to sort of... Actually, you know what? That makes the most sense, doesn't it? So I will start with a Mighty Monkey. Hello. I'm going to start with the exploration of some stuff that we are already maybe familiar with. So here is, I guess, the boardwalk. I guess I'm going to call this. Down here's the boardwalk. I've got an idea for a boat race to happen over here. So we will probably pick up with that later. As a matter of fact, I need to start taking down some notes for this because I think that seems sensible. I'll do them over in my spreadsheet because this is how I like to organize things, is via spreadsheet. Now that's true for plenty of folks, but I don't know if it's true for a lot of people who do streaming stuff. I think this is a fairly atypical way of keeping one's notes. Okay, let me see. I assume that I have... Okay. Yep, just need to add a little section in here. Excellent, and let's see. Okay, there we go. Back in. Orly Rose says, so this is a co-op map that lots of people built. Well, honestly, not a lot of people. This is a map that the pit crew was working on for a while. We went ahead and just found kind of a seed that we liked, and we have been working with this. I can't remember which one. There we go. Okay. This was a gate designed by Tuna. I'm gonna assume Sander replaced that. Thank you. Oh, I have to shut it again. But yeah, here is the arena. We will probably be ending up back in the arena here later on. We're gonna take a look around, then we're gonna find out sort of what to do next here. But this arena was just a big sort of like wide open spot for a while, and the intent was to work in a in survival mode for a while. But I think that pretty quickly fell by the wayside. This is an arena that I think I'm planning to just put a bunch of spawners into. Ideally, I would love like a full rack of them, where we can just spawn stuff to land down in here, such that people can fight and level up, and also some more narrative stuff that I'm not sure quite what to do with yet. But this is the arena. I see Sander has added some detailing, which is pretty cool. Now this isn't going to be much of a fight right now because I'm in creative, so I'm going to let you be for the moment. Let's see, Orly Rose stuck in a hole on the Switch. I see. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I wish you happy jumping. Yeah, I think typically you're basically going to have to you're just going to have to dig out the walls and use them to boost yourself. Is it going to be great? Probably not. So Jade has got a good question. Are we building Residas in Minecraft? And then we've got a bit of a question to answer there because Sander, hold on. Sander is muted by me. Now this one I do know why. That one I do remember why. So Sander, you're unmuted now. There we go.
I was wondering if I was.
I had forgotten about it, but yeah, back when we were very first doing the stage instead of just an audio channel for the reading, I had you muted because occasionally you would pop in like automatically. It would connect you, and your mic would still be on.
That happened once when I introduced you to the channel only.
Yeah,
I don't remember that happening any other time.
It happened a couple of times after that.
Oh.
That's right. But yeah, here's the amphitheater, which I know I wanted an amphitheater for quite a while, and then I made this. I made this hot garbage that we're looking at here. It is no good. It's terrible stone cheese up there, and frankly, this doesn't look altogether like an amphitheater anyway. So yeah, this territory probably needs a bit of work. Is it work that I intend to do? Probably not. All right. What else is there to explore? I got to show folks the territory.
Look at the map to see everything in one bit.
Say again?
I did give you guys a map where you can show the whole server in one view, top view.
I see. Where's my map at? I probably got to bump out of creative mode here. All right. I don't have the map on me. I'm gonna have to retrieve one, I think. And who do I see over here?
No, in the Discord, I meant.
Oh, gotcha. I see, I see.
Like the website I sent you. You can view the whole server live from that.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I got. I guess there was a zombie nearby. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is kind of the the town square here. Spawn is out in the middle of the lake, and I've provided some cardinal directions up in the air because, boy, the pit crew is having the hardest time trying to communicate where stuff was to one another. Mighty Monkey, hello.
If you type /trigger CV toggle, then the coordinates will show up nicely on your screen.
Let's see. CV toggle.
This we're done with the slash in front
CH
of it.
toggle. Gotcha.
It also works for you, Mighty Monkey.
Excellent. Okay, cool. This is the trophy territory over here, which is I'm not sure if this is like gonna still be active. I'm gonna have to decide on this one. But
I still have a trophy to place.
say again.
I still need to place a trophy somewhere in the world.
Yeah, and I guess that can go over here in the sidecar bar, the blue and yellow. But I think
He has the Hobbit Hall built. There was also an option to put it there.
that would be I think I want to try and collect the trophies in one place.
By the way, you need to show that build she made, because it's the most beautiful thing on the server, in my opinion.
The Hobbit holes.
Yes.
Oh, I think you're probably right. I am. Yeah, I'm. This is a little tour of our house currently. This is Mama Cass's and mine house. The one that she gets. She doesn't like it when I throw down a bed just in some random location. She wants me to stay. She wants me to make sure that I always come home at the end of the day. And then we've got the flags over here. We have got let's see. So this is Tuna's. This is Frizz. This is mine. This one I think. Hold on. One of these was Cass for a while. I want to say it was this one.
This one is mine.
That one's yours. Okay.
I picked a few for the staircase, the bridge, and the building on top of it that's not visible at the moment.
Gotcha. Yeah, so Cass had like a crown one for a bit, but this duck was also sort of providing part of it. Yeah, it's a weird one.
All the chests, and that are all the banners I could find.
Yeah, and we haven't used these a ton, so it's not a huge issue. Dahlia is wondering, is this the Darkroom Java server / Sandra's volume is very low / is this a PG appropriate server for Orly Rose and Good Courage's kiddos? I think let's try to. I don't see a reason why we would need to deviate from that. So yeah, let's try to keep it PG in here. Now what is this thing here? This seems like the sort of thing where I should be pretty anxious about whatever this is gonna do.
About what?
Muddy Monkey.
Oh, this one. It's not built by me. Tuna built this once.
I see. Okay, let me see. This raises. Okay, is it safe to assume then that this is what, like a cannon?
Pew 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 pew.
Sure. Okay.
Pew.
Yes, Dahlia. We can keep the stream the same way. We'll keep this PG like a like your typical reading stream. This is Tuna and Frizz's house, and actually, I'm gonna not give you the tour in there because I think it's possible they would want to give you that tour themselves at some point. I'll just leave that option open to them, and hey, why not create. Let's keep a little bit of mystery in the world, huh? That is Mr. Halfbit's house, way up there on the hill, and I'm also going to leave that for him. But we used to be running this in Eternos, and now Sander is sort of presiding over this version of it. The Eternos one still exists, but this is, I think, the one that I'm probably going to spend time in from now on. Whenever I do Minecraft, which is not super often, but you know, it'll be good to have a consolidated version of things. I'm going to head on down the road and show y'all what else there is to see. Good grief. So this is Tuna territory once again. As you can see, the banners kind of mark who's got different stuff. And as we get more people into the server, we're probably going to need more banners for people, aren't we? Because if somebody jumps in here and does a lot of building, I want to know who's been building what stuff. Come on in, monkey, if you wish. This is the studio. This is, I think we were considering doing some like, oh, he built the chairs. I forgot about the chairs. We were talking about maybe do it here. Go ahead, Mighty Monkey. I'm gonna get a good look at you up there. There it is. Oh, you want to be the host, huh? All right, Mighty Monkey. I'm gonna jump in here. This is what it would be like, me and you interviewing. And right now, obviously, it's COVID, so we can't have the studio open for an audience, but maybe later. Taking control, Mighty Monkey. It's been a great interview. I'll see you later. All right, let me see. This is kind of Tuna Road right here. I feel like we need a good name for this. Tuna, what? I don't think you're in here this morning, but if you jump in here again later, we got to figure out a name for this road here. Tuna, what do you think? Halibut Lane? We probably just got to maybe Albacore, Albacore Avenue. I think I like that one. Okay. Marinver says, so I can buy it for my phone. Do you think it would be worth it to buy it? I do think Minecraft in general is worth it, but I will say that won't allow you to get Java Edition, which means you won't be able to jump into this one, unfortunately. Sorry. There are 3 different kind of editions of Minecraft, and then a bunch of different versions within that, but there's not a lot of crossover capability between the 3 versions. What is it, like Bedrock, Java, and mobile, if I remember correctly?
No, mobile is also Bedrock. Like, if you have the mobile, you can also join Bedrock.
Gotcha. All right. And so as you can see, we're back in Tuna territory. This is, I believe, the escape room, and it begins down here. I would say I'm probably not going to go through the whole thing right now. That was a whole stream unto its own. This, I believe, is some tests. Oh, I forgot he put a trap in here. Okay. This is this is a bit of a test for the this is a test. This is a test of the Minecraft emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. Do not panic. Do not try to go outdoors. Now I'm just typing nonsense in order to fill out this stupid book. How long does this thing take?
Oh, I don't know.
How many words do I have to type to fill this out? Is it still going? There we go.
You can just press enter to go to the next page, even when writing it. So you don't have to fill it out.
Gotcha. And then, look, I'm going to be honest with y'all. This beacon is up here. I don't know what this is. Dolly says, we've got a Java server and a Bedrock server in the dark room for peeps to join. Bedrock is cross-platform compatible. Java is PC only.
This beacon is from the escape room.
From the escape room. I gotcha.
Last puzzle. And Tuna built a building around it.
I see.
Suspicious.
Good old Sunday school. All right. I think I think Albacore Avenue is going to be a pretty decent option here. Yeah, I can, Dahlia. It's funny because on my end I can hear him totally fine. It's possible this has gone back to being a little odd, because of course it seems like every day my settings are different. That ought to work.
Okay.
Perfect.
How do I sound now?
On my end, you sound good. We will see how it sounds on Dahlia's end. Actually, I could probably just turn this all the way up, can't I? There we go. Yeah, and of course, Dahlia's Dark Room is one of the links here on the Friends lineup. Dahlia's Dark Room is a sidecar adjacent just community server where a bunch of folks go in and play games. I know Among Us is often on the list there, but Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, lots of multiplayer stuff. It's a pretty cool spot. All right, back to... I think we can safely land on Albacore Avenue for this one, huh? I tried to build out some of it so it wasn't so absolutely awful. I tried to extend this river.
Secret library in the mountain, is that yours?
The what in the mountain?
The secret library.
Probably. There's some things I don't remember about this place.
Was really hard to find.
Okay. It's also possible that it's not. I mean, we had a couple of secret building projects among the different members of the crew, but I do know a library was on my list at one point. I don't think I ever got a start on it, though. Like, it was a plan that I had made, but I don't remember ever getting started.
Found at least one.
Okay, and this is where people are going to get very annoyed with me because I'm not somebody who remembers to eat in general, and all of my inventory. Oh, duh! All of my inventory got back at the old spot.
Here's some. I have some for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
It says mob hunt. That's because I got that from the game.
Gotcha.
The game in the arena.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so now we have discovered the timeline. I am not gonna like run the whole length of the thing right now, but this is the timeline. I am a big nerd, and so I made a timeline of the histories of the Earth, the civilizations of the Earth, with year markers. Here we've got the year 1800.
I can give the map, the top view map of the world to chat if you want. Then view on.
Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Okay.
Marinver says, "Do not know much about Minecraft. Why do you have to eat? You have to eat so that your energy stays up. It'll help you heal over time as well. But the main thing for me right now is just making sure I can continue to sprint, because after a while you get exhausted."
The link I just posted in chat. If you go to the link, the map will open with a live view of us on the server. Oh, and you can see everything that's built on there.
It's a live view. That's pretty cool.
Yes. You can also see a half-built pyramid. And Sam is gonna be mad about this, but I have command and I can make the pyramid in 5 seconds.
I tell you what, I'm actually not mad about that. I will ask, is it filled in or is it going to be hollow on the inside?
Whatever you want. Do you want to be hollow or do you want to be filled in? Both can be.
I think hollow on the inside would be better, because I want to build a big maze in there.
That's easily done.
That's a challenge for the future.
That's why I installed World Edit for things like that.
Let me see. I do like how you said that, though. I'm in control. Or what was it? Maybe it was I have control, but it was very funny. But yeah, y'all can see how far back this timeline goes, because this is the year 2020, this is the year 2000, this is the year 1900 and 1800, and we're already back in, we're already back in the in the medieval period. Where I think we're clearing the Renaissance now. Head medieval, and then very quickly we will arrive in very dangerous territory. I forgot I'm in survival mode. Oh, this ain't no good at all. Let me get out of here.
I created a small pyramid just in a few seconds.
Gotcha. What do you think, Mighty Monkey? How are we doing so far?
At the moment, we are not doing a lot.
I'm giving a quick tour of the place for anybody who isn't familiar with this world that we had. I think we spent a little bit of time in it a few months ago, and then a lot of us got very busy very quickly. This is the Magic School Bus. This is a good spot to start for various adventures of ours.
There are 2 Magic School buses. One is at the volcano and one is here.
Yeah, I think the idea with the Magic School Buses was essentially that we would sort of teleport between them, so it would feel like the Magic School Bus, where you just hop in and then it arrives someplace else. I think we were going to have a bunch of them. They were going to be sort of like teleport zones. You jump in one and pop out the other.
That can easily be done with commands.
I believe it. And then, as you can see, this is a frizz build. This is a really good frizz build. I'm gonna be honest. I think this might be one of our best aesthetically in the whole server. Oh, I really don't want to kill somebody's cat, because there's always a chance it'll be Cass's, and that's no good at all. Let's see. And then I think the last major landmark is gonna be over here. This is a squid build. This is our Tuna boy. This is Tuna's Fish and Mercantile. He likes to build one of these in basically every world. I think this is a kind of a holdout from when we watched a decent bit of Achievement Hunter, but the old Fish and Mercantile. One of these pops up in just about every world we get into. I mean, it's kind of fun. He likes to set up shop here and sell his wares. Frankly, it operates a little bit more like a faire stall than anything else, because I think he just sort of like casually jumps in here, and if he feels like selling stuff, then fine. If he feels like just giving it away, that's fine too. Okay, now I gotta remember my survival chops here. I think. Okay, do y'all want to see like the full timeline, or do we want to get on some sort of exploration bit here? Oh boy. Tuna Avenue is unsafe. This is not a safe part of town here. Lots of riffraff. Lots of riffraff, Sander not least among them. Mercantile, I did indeed put the time things up. Yeah, those are the pylons that mark every block is 10 years of time, and it goes back to the earliest recorded civilization, which, if I remember correctly, is Catalhuyuk in Turkey, like the earliest evidenced. I guess you would say like structured civilization. I don't know. Proteus Spade says it's just the way things go in Albuquerque. I hope that was part right, because I sort of recognize the cadence, but I've never heard that before. Are you laughing at me, Sander?
Maybe.
Oh, it's Weird Al. I got you. I think Tuna's Fish and Mercantile used to be like butted up against a mountain over here.
No, there's no building there.
He might have filled it in. That also might have been a totally different world, because we've had like not for Sidecar, but just generally we've had probably 5 or 6 different Minecraft worlds that we spent a decent bit of time in. Just right.
I've looked around. not here.
Let's see. All right, I gotta grab some stuff. I think I need. I'll probably take a bow with me. Oh, I've got a sword. This is semi-survival. It's not quite survival because I'm getting a lot of help. Let me see. We've got the. I don't think I've got any armor lying around, but I think I can make some from what we've got here.
I have seen one of you having a full netherite set in their chest, so...
Was it in this building? Because I'm guessing that was probably Tuna.
Yeah, I think so. But Tuna also built the building which has diamond blocks in it, so...
Yeah, I think I think that seems like Tuna territory to me.
That's why I thought it was a creative build. Which would make sense with that kind of things in it.
Tuna says, but did you explore the blue tuna hut? Are you talking about Sunday school, Tuna? I went over and took a look.
Tuna also has a hideout, which has a lot of blue in it, under the ocean.
Alright, it's time to go exploring. Actually, I went ahead and grabbed the iron, but I did not make myself the armor required. So, let me jump in and do that as well. I think a sweet helmet, and that'll be good. I do have a pretty freaky face in Minecraft. I don't... it's because my very favorite, avatar I've ever had. It was just randomly assigned over on Xbox, and it's this it's just a shark wearing a purple suit with like zebra print patterns to it, and I love it. I don't know why, but I absolutely love it. And so I was trying to sort of emulate that in a way here, but it just turned out like I've got this freaky I look like a worm from Dune. How do I adjust my camera? What is it? How do I switch my camera angle?
Press F5.
F5? There we go. Yeah, so here it is with a helmet on. It's just a bit of a chasm of a face. All right, shall we explore a bit? I think let's we can head over near the tower over there, the one single tower, because I think the I think the tower building process is probably going to get a lot easier with building commands, isn't it?
Yes, a lot.
I was trying to do lava casting. That was no good.
If you see how fast I built that pyramid.
Oh, did you already build it? I didn't even see it.
Oh, I just placed a 25 by 25 pyramid in the air.
Gotcha.
Just with a single command. And it can be as big as your pyramid. Only be a bit laggy for a few seconds.
Okay, excellent.
Something that big.
So you can see the one Rositas tower in the background there, but you can also see this is a Hobbiton created by Mama Cass. This is like, I do think this is one of the better things in the whole server, but I didn't realize how much work she had done in the interior here, which is pretty cool. It is pretty cute, yeah. Cass worked on this for quite a while, and she did a great job. Some of these are unfinished on the interiors because we were going to do a bit of like an interior design challenge potentially for these, but we're gonna leave that be for now. I'm gonna head over near the towers because I think that's largely the most unexplored portion of the near server. There's of course distant stuff, but I think of any of the directions, Tuna has done a lot of exploring up to the what is it? The north, I think. I can look at the map. South, north. Yep. Done a lot of exploring to the north. That's up in the territory where the timeline's at.
mostly is explored to the east and to the west.
Yeah, the east. I think we had done some exploration because we needed a good setup for the like for the survival challenges. And then here's this ugly mess.
Yeah, I have seen a few lava lakes that were potential candidates for your survival game.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on one right now. Basically, I just surrounded the whole. I surrounded big sections of stuff with lava, and that was kind of the boundaries of things.
This is where you played your minigame.
Let's see. Was it this one? Was it this close? It was.
Yes.
Interesting. So that was the. I had thought that was way over to the east, but I was wrong. Orly Rose says Sam wouldn't show us the inside of Tuna's house because he's. Yeah, I'm leaving that for Tuna to unveil, if you wish. Plus, if you don't wish, then hey, we keep a little bit of mystery in the world. I wonder. I assume there's a mod for this, but I wonder if there's some way to like lock stuff so that doors are actually functional.
Yes, there is.
I don't think we need it for this one, but it would be interesting potentially in the future for certain things. We could do hidden builds and then all reveal at the same time.
You can also make it so certain people can only build in certain areas, like I cannot build where your building is, etc.
Whoa! Oh! You move a lot slower when you're in lava, huh?
I had to find out some way.
I was pretty sure I was going to be able to get out of that, but that didn't work at all. Okay. I'm going to dodge back into creative for just a moment here, because I want to see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Anything else that we need to make sure we've got explored here. Actually, there's exploring and then there's the tour. We're kind of doing the tour first, and then exploring may come later. But I think, yeah, with the tour, I think
also,
we mostly got it.
Died, there should be a gravestone. Right-click the gravestone to get your stuff back.
Yeah. Yeah, do I have to dig it up or just like right-click on it?
Right-click on it. It should be small stone on the place you died. The place you died should be in chat.
I think I see it. It is right here. Hey, there we go. Okay, cool. Good grief, get out of the lava. I'm not great at this game. That's all right. Okay, I think we've done a lot of the tour. Tuna says it was built to cover up the 3 beacons from the escape room. It didn't cover them super well. Or do you just mean the beacons themselves, as opposed to the light they project? Tuna says, I've got a few houses. Unfortunately, Sam picked the middle of a work day for Minecraft. Yeah, I know. Like, scheduling's wild. What are you going to do? Maybe you can catch up with us later on. This is... Half-Fit's house got a little messy. He's got a good set of livestock, but it's a little complicated as well. So it's a very modern design, as you can see.
Oh, was not you who gifted them all those chickens? Was it Tuna?
Who knows? Who knows who did it? Who knows? Who can remember? Orly Rose says, I think the running descriptions of the animal sounds is my favorite part so far. Oh yeah, just the little noise descriptors over in the right hand corner. Yeah, those are pretty good. Okay. Let us explore. I think we can start to take a look at new towers territory, because I think down here, we've got this map that we used for our challenge before.
What kind of biome do you want the towers to be in?
Well, frankly, I think it can be just about any type of biome. I kind of intend for like different biomes to be present in the towers anyway. You know, we've got like a couple of districts that are going to be just trapped in perpetual winter, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not totally sure yet. But I don't think we need to like. I don't think we need to be too specific about that. I think any biome is fine. So this is the old Lord of the Mines arena. As you can see, my beautiful buildings, they linger on. Isn't it gorgeous? Not an eyesore at all.
It's less worse than some of the other buildings. You have a few more arenas. Somewhere up in the north, left.
Yeah, I do think the hey, I think I think I sort of designed them to be functional. This, like, what is this? The Glazed Terracotta? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have gone a little overboard with the Glazed Terracotta. I might have let myself get carried away with it. I'm realizing there's like an internal pattern that can be adjusted, and I have not been consistent with that either. That is no good at all. Look at that. Terrible. Yeah, I don't consider myself to be a great builder by any means. The role that I typically take when it's just like original pit crew, hanging out in a Minecraft world, is I tend to be the cartographer. I tend to just grab a map and explore a lot of it because I tend to like expeditions. It tends to keep me from going stir crazy back in town.
But it gets you killed a lot.
It does get me killed a lot.
You explored a lot and got killed a lot because of it.
Look, I'm not going to deny that it is true, but it was for a good cause. It was for a good cause. It was for exploration, for the sake of the spirit of adventure.
So.
Oh, Money Monkey, adios. Good to have you. I think we'll start from the towers and then work our way north. If exploration is what's on the menu.
South has not been explored yet, or not as much.
South, I mean, isn't the? Okay, so I did mean south. South. I said north, but I did mean south. That was my intent. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna get murdered like every single time out here. So best not to try and make this exploration in the nighttime. I'm gonna use this nighttime to get set up, to get prepped after a fashion. Make sure I've at least got some food on me. Gems, have a good one. I'll see you later. Monkey, adios. Okay. Gotta raid our equipment now. I'll go ahead and...
Are you going to explore alone, or...
No, hey, if you want to go camping, Sander, we'll go camping. Let me see.
Wait.
I wonder if it would be appropriate for me to go in just like, you don't necessarily have to, but I think I'm gonna go in like totally like exploring as if it were the first world ever.
You mean you are gonna die a lot?
Hey, yes, that is probably what I mean. Yes, in all likelihood, that is how the world will interpret it. That's how it will be seen. But I have to trust that in the future generations will know that it was for the spirit of adventure. And I think the towers build is going to be something that I'm not really sure what to do with it, because honestly, if we really do build the towers in general, then that means that it's really going to occupy a lot of the world. Because it's going to be huge, and then all around that is going to be a lot of the frontier stuff, which I think would be fun, but I also think I don't want it to necessarily devour the other stuff that's going on here, but I don't know. We shall see. Also, I did definitely say that I didn't want to explore at night, and then I decided I wasn't going to take anything with me, and then I just left during the nighttime anyway. I'm not going to call it complete chaos, but we're pretty close to it.
I'm sleeping at the moment.
Gotcha.
I have a map with me. And we can move the towers to another location and have a teleport pad between those locations. So you don't block up spawn.
I gotcha. Orold says, "Are you talking about Columbus?" No, I mean, I think Columbus also had the spirit of adventure. Unfortunately, I think no, I am much less equipped than Columbus. Although I do have Sander, who might as well be like the, let's see, was he? It was Spain that actually sponsored the mission, if I remember correctly. But it's possible that I don't. All right, I need a bunch of planks. Boom. We get a crafting table up in this piece. All right. Time to build some stuff. Time to craft some stuff, I should say.
You should have all recipes like before. Oh, don't use the axe if you are OP. The axe is used for build edits. The wooden axe.
Oh, don't use wooden axe.
Fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I was wondering. It was being very strange.
I think some messages popped it in chat about position 1 and position 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can set positions with them, and then you can // set, block, etc. And you can edit the whole area.
I see.
If you go to the stone tools, you will be fine.
All right, stone tools it is. And then I think later on I'm probably gonna pop back into creative, and because I think I want to try and get to okay, now what the heck? What's up with this? What did I do? Is my memory so bad? Can you really not get cobble from breaking it by hand?
You can.
I would have thought so, but nothing popped up. Is it all wooden tools that are wonky, or is it just the axe?
You could. Let me say that. That changed in a recent update. 1.17 or 1.16, I think.
Oh, so that's just part of the core game now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I did not change that. I changed a bit about the game, but not that.
Sander, what did you do?
I have listed all the changes in the Discord for you to read.
You know, this would be a pretty good way to get me to go crazy. if you had a list of changes, but it wasn't all of them, and so it would just be me sitting here wondering, what did Sander do? What did you do?
I included a pretty accurate list. The only thing that I left out is things you can get with /datapack command.
Gotcha.
/datapack list. I did not list all of those in Discord because the list was already long.
Orly Rose says, watching how long that took, I'm kind of surprised by my huge pit building speed skills. Now tell me about this pit, Orly Rose, because it seems like you've gotten into a bit of trouble here with your pit building skills. It seems like the sort of thing where you might have to be a little careful, I suppose. But to what end are you building these massive holes in the ground?
Yeah, Oreo, I don't think you are that bad at the game compared to Sam. I think you are at an equal level. Or at least close to.
You're probably right. Although I will say, it's actually Tuna. One of his favorite pastimes in Minecraft is definitely to build giant holes and then sort of walk around them in a risky fashion until he falls in and then scream on his way down. That's one of Tuna's Minecraft hobbies. He was in I think he found like I don't know, it's like a mining, what is it called, like a mining platform or something. I want to say he had one of those at one point. I could be wrong though. Nope. I remember now. It was not a mining platform. He just went ahead and cored out a whole chunk of earth for whatever reason. He just really wanted to destroy that one chunk of stuff. So he just dug all the way down to bedrock by hand, I believe. Cleared out an entire chunk.
When you say by hand, I think you mean by pickaxe? I hope at least, because that would take half an hour minimum.
I don't remember precisely how he did it. I think he had some help from Frizz as well, but no, I think a pickaxe was probably involved. Probably? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tuna and I especially, we can get into periods in Minecraft where we've sort of done all the things that we want to accomplish, and so we either go nuts and start to just harass the other players, or we have to set ourselves up with some arbitrary tasks, some arbitrary goals to complete, and then once we can get working on those, then we tend to be all right for a little while, but once we beat Minecraft for the first time, Tuna and I both went a little nuts. Like, what do we do now? This is probably plenty of coal here, isn't it?
Probably more than you will ever need.
I got a stack in a bit. Let's see. Give me some sticks. Give me some torches. All right, now we're in good shape. Orold says, how's it going? How's everyone's life now that Sam isn't reading The Hobbit? Well, Orold, guess what? Later today, I'm going to be getting started on Lord of the Rings. It is not a regular stream in the rotation yet, but
Is Lord of the Rings a test stream, or will you be streaming that on Winter Sidecar later?
I think you're gonna be seeing it on Vintage Sidecar later. That's my plan for that one. I don't know when in the rotation. It is not going to be on the most immediate vote because I think it's so long. I mean, it is probably going to take me a couple of years to read. I would anticipate on stream. And so I don't know if I want it to occupy the Vintage Sidecar block. I want to keep rolling with that one on some different things, but it will be on the list for when I've got time for a new stream in my week. Then patrons are going to vote on what that stream is actually going to be, and I've got a suspicion that Lord of the Rings will be pretty high up there. It seems like the sort of thing you goons would enjoy. Dolly says, by the way, Sam, you should be glad Sander couldn't make it yesterday for Among Us. If he was there, he would have murdered us all and convinced everyone it wasn't him. Cool cucumber.
True.
Yeah, are you kind of cool hand Luke when it comes to Among Us?
I'm really good at the game.
What do you think makes you so good at the game?
I can easily lie with a straight face and have the facts to make me not suspicious.
Okay. All right. I can occasionally. I would say I'm pretty good at games like that. There's a whole subsection of board games called hidden role games. Games like Werewolf and One Night Werewolf, etc. I tend to be pretty good at those, but Among Us not so much.
Yeah, Among Us you also need to be good at the game, if you understand what I mean.
I do. I'm gonna choose not to though. I'm gonna choose not to understand what you mean. I'm great at Among Us.
In your own way.
In my own special way. Oh boy. Oh, I got a cow's head. That's good.
Yeah, every mob drops his head. Except creepers, skeletons, and zombies.
I need a lot of cobble, don't I? Gotta make myself a cook station. Is this? It's just gravel, isn't it? I think I'm on a whole mountain of gravel.
Gravel Mountain is a biome, so could be.
Well, I don't want nothing to do with that. Let's see. Gotta create myself a furnace. And I'll remind y'all that anybody who wants to jump in here can feel free to do so. This is Java Edition. What's up?
There is a whitelist at the moment. Should I remove it otherwise, or...
There's a what at the moment?
A whitelist.
Let's try pulling it off for the moment.
Whitelist is now turned off.
Excellent. Yeah, for right now, I think that's all right. Okay. And get myself a furnace. And I suppose I should set myself a shelter for the night. I guess.
I still have a bed on me. Also, I forget to mention the mob capacity is also higher in this server.
Okay.
And mobs are allowed to spawn.
Create my crafting table too. So other than the wooden axe thing, it doesn't feel like much has changed about the survival aspect.
Nothing has changed about the survival aspect, other than the graves and the no grieving from the ghast, enderman, and etc.
Gotcha. Orald says, you know, Sam, there are Tolkien books besides Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Children of Hurin is shorter and a great read. It is, but at the same time, I think, honestly, I think that would just annoy certain folks. I think some folks would be like, oh, you're reading Tolkien, but not Lord of the Rings. I got for my birthday, I got from Actor Clown. He gave me a collected works of sort of the Middle Earth mythology that are not part of Lord of the Rings or the Silmarillion, etc. And I don't remember if that one's in there, but it would not surprise me.
Oh, your face. Just see the piggy.
What's wrong with my face, Sander? It's a perfectly normal face. What do you want? It's just a regular old face.
I think you love the mopeds.
Yeah, Oral says nothing like someone saying, "Oh, your face." Oh, great.
I don't know any other way to say it.
I mean, it's a lot. I admit it. It's a lot. Wait, when did I put this pig head on? Hold on a second. Hold on. When did this happen? When did I feel like Sandra did this to me.
No, I did not even do this.
You know, I'm gonna keep it on.
I just saw the pig head.
It's less terrible to look at than my shark face.
You thought I was talking about your shark face.
I did.
Oh, I would never.
I did, but I did
I
not.
actually like the shark.
I had
But
no
it's got
idea.
a big head. Oh.
Just a pig man in a suit. Don't worry about it. Do squids drop heads?
Yes.
And can I wear it?
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. Now that's something right there.
And squid spawn a lot. So if you go to the nearest river, you'll most likely get one.
Excellent. All right.
Oh, he's already one.
Hmm? Oh, you find one
He's
already?
Yeah, a squid, yes.
Where are you at? The river down below? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there a good version?
At forest.
All right, here I come.
Remember fall damage.
Do I have a question. Do I have to remember fall damage?
Yeah. You don't have to. You will find out, but
You'll find out.
I just want you to be careful and not die right away.
Oh man! All right, here we go. This. All right, let's take a look.
The eyes are hilarious. Every fish
Ta-da.
also
Oh, good grief! There he is. There he is, folks. Squid in a suit. Now you look fancy. Are you wearing? Is that netherite armor? The chest piece?
No.
Ooh, creeper.
just that is just an lighter. You know the thing you can fly with?
Yeah. Is that? Oh, gotcha. So, does that you have to wear that instead of chest armor?
Yes.
Gotcha. And Mighty Monkey is in the game somewhere. I think Mighty Monkey jumped back in. I don't know.
My team is at spawn at the moment. You can see that on the live map that I shared with chat earlier.
Excellent. Oh boy. Oh boy. Get away from me.
Should we sleep through the night?
Probably, yes. Mighty Monkey says, I'm hiding from a lot of monsters. Actually, it's on the screen, so y'all can see that one, can't you? It's not just in my chat. Let me see. Am I gonna need some wool?
I haven't bet on me, but there are monsters nearby.
Indeed, we shall have to climb. Also, I think the sun is kind of on its way up anyway. Oh, there we go.
the monk found to bed. Also made it so one player had to sleep instead of all the players, like that was on your previous server.
I see. I really like this area down here. This is pretty cool. This landscape, I think we could use this for some Skybridge stuff. That would be kind of fun. I think if we did like a survival island kind of game like we did before, but we just sort of make it so that it's all these are sort of islands in the midst of quite a bit of lava, and you can traverse island to island via sky bridges. I think that would work pretty well.
That's possible.
Dahlia says Sandra's sus. Vote him out.
Understandable.
Yeah, Sandra says, yeah, I get it. Let's see. Okay, and this is like... Finally, we've found an ocean here because... before, when we were messing around with this world, I was not seeing a lot of water. I had done some flying around in creative, and it just, for whatever reason, like, large bodies of water seemed pretty short supply, but hey, we're back. Also, can you tell me, Sandra, why does it seem like this world has nothing in the way of, like, shipwrecks or mansions? I know mansions are, like, much more rare.
Unlucky? That's all I can throw up. It's depending on the seed.
Sure, so it's not like we accidentally picked a version of Minecraft that just wasn't going to spawn that?
You loaded this map in 1.13 or higher, so it should be here. And if you really want to find it, you can also use the /locate command.
It feels like cheating. It probably isn't, but it feels like it.
You can also look up the map online, like fill in the seed.
That definitely feels like cheating.
You are not using cheats.
That's true.
It's just a knowledge beforehand.
But is it the spirit? Is it the spirit of exploration?
It's not the spirit of exploration. But if you want the perfect location for your base, like the perfect biomes, etc. around you, then it's a good thing to use.
Hi, Mr. Halfbit. How you doing? Now, what is the timer over in the toward the bottom there on my HUD?
That's the time in game.
Oh, just like time of day? I gotcha.
Yeah. The timer resets every 20 minutes, I think.
Okay.
It's just an indication of when to sleep.
Now, it seems pretty crazy to me that it's not every 24 minutes. Why would it do that?
Well, it can be that it's 24. I don't know for sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have 20 minutes in my head because 20 ticks is 1 second. That's why I have that in my head.
I see. Fork, Halfbit, hello. By the way, anybody can join in today. We have got this world opened up. We may go back. I think we will probably go back to whitelisting it in the future, like in between sessions. But for right now, this is totally wide open. If anybody is hanging out, wants to jump in. You can find the what is it called? It's not a room code. It's with the address.
The IP.
The IP. Yeah, you can find the IP over in Discord. If any of y'all want to explore with us, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to be building some mazes later. I'm going to be building out the labyrinth inside the
inside the pyramid that I need to build.
Yeah, is there a good way to build it, like basically exactly where the old one is?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Because that pyramid is essentially it is Sander, Stationary Fork. Yeah, Sander's in here right now. Mighty Monkey's in here right now. Although I don't think Mighty Monkey's on mic. Mighty Monkey's just hanging out. I think near the
Mighty
town.
Monkey is allowed to join the live stream. Like he is invited for the voice channel.
Indeed. Yes, Mighty Monkey at your leisure if you wish, but of course, yeah, nobody has to be. It's definitely less. It's less required on a game like this. Okay, I'm glad we did a bit of exploring down here because this is territory that I wasn't sure. What was down here.
I can start replacing the pyramid if you want.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Then I'm going off to that.
Tuna did like a ton of work on that. Which
On the pyramid?
yeah, it's tough because of course now like there's just a much easier way to do it. But Tuna like
Yeah,
Tuna,
I've got to say this command was not available on your old server.
yeah, I think Tuna did the absolute best with what we had available at the time. I think he created a spreadsheet to like automatically generate the commands that would be needed.
Oh, he did in voice. That's actually smart.
He's a spreadsheet wizard.
Still would take less time. Plugins that you need to do it using commands, but
Yeah, I think you've got some expertise that I don't necessarily have, and I think Tuna has more of it than I do, but I think all of us are like, you know, we've done a lot of messing around in basic Minecraft. Oh my god, is that a shipwreck?
Also, the pyramid you have now is made out of stairs. It cannot be made out of stairs. Now, it can be made out of stairs, but the stairs will only face one direction.
Maybe okay, so maybe just do it out of blocks, and then we can manually put stairs on the outside of it.
You can make it out of sandstone blocks, and you would not really notice the difference that much.
Yeah, if it looks wonky, I might go and put some stairs over top of it. But no, I mean the blocks will definitely be the best place to start.
Now I need to find the center and the look and how big this pyramid is.
I think I found the Titanic. I found a ship that's like crashed into an iceberg. This is no good.
Found the test room in the pyramid. The one that says "Do not be here."
Well, are you there?
Maybe.
What does the sign say, Sander?
It's probably going to be removed probably by the command.
Oh, hello.
Oh boy.
Hello.
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 Mighty Monkey?
Yes.
How do you do?
I'm doing alright.
Excellent.
Hope I'm not too loud or too quiet. I can.
Nope. You are in good shape.
You're fine.
Okay, see now I'm curious as to what Sander's getting up to over there with this pyramid. I gotta go. I gotta figure it out. But I'll stay true. I'm gonna explore my way back. But I found that is the first shipwreck spawn I found. We had a world a while ago. Just me and Cass and Tuna and Frizz. That like there were shipwrecks all over the place and lots of underwater Underwater ruins? I don't remember precisely what they're called.
I typed in the command, but I don't see the pyramid. Is it laggy at the moment?
It's not lucky for me.
Not getting any lag.
Then I wonder why my pyramid is.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
There it is. Found it.
Oh.
Oh boy.
No.
Oh dear.
The server should refresh. I made a pyramid of 150 in the center of the whole pyramid.
It did not care for that.
As I said, with the big ones, it's a bit laggy. Sometimes a lot.
A bit. Let's find out just how laggy we got here. Stationary Fork says, I was playing NFS Heat with Dahlia, Zem, and Spoon after Among Us. What is NFS Heat, I wonder? Oh, Stationary Fork. I saw a game that made me think about you because you have been playing quite a few of the sort of like Talos, Portal, etc. And Portal. Oh, Need for Speed. Gotcha. But there is a new like Portal-based shooter called. Oh boy. Hold on. Now I don't remember what it's called. Portal-based shooter. Splitgate, that's what it's called. So Splitgate is it's like Halo but with portals. I've also heard it's like Portal but with Halo guns and shooting. I don't know. There's a whole argument about which one it's supposed to be called, but apparently it's a little tough to get into a lobby right now because they went from about like 6,000 active players to about 60,000 over the course of like a month. Okay. And so their servers are trying to catch up with it.
Oh, it did a rollback, I think.
Oh, did it jump back to how the server was before?
Yeah.
I see.
I did a server restart.
All right, let me see.
Maybe so. Yeah, I'm at 0-0.
You're at 0-0. I gotcha. Okay. No worries. I have coordinates for a bunch of the major landmarks in the game. Let's see. The timeline.
Oh, there.
Here we go. Tuna's fishing Mercantile, which means that the timeline is right over here. So, it did not like the pyramid, huh?
No.
Do you think it's the sort of thing where, like, I wonder if it could be done in
more people
faces?
If more people on the server, it also does not like it a lot.
Okay, so maybe it's the sort of thing that needs to happen, like, off stream.
Like, the small pyramids, it appeared in a second.
There it is. There it is, the glorious pyramid. So, let's see.
Sandstone minus hay. 50. I'm gonna try a bit smaller. Okay. This one, 50 is fine. Only a bit small compared to yours. I think yours can be 100, maybe?
I think it was 128 if I remember correctly, because left to right, I wanted it to be the same. I wanted it to be the same as the duration of the Egyptian Empire.
Okay, let me try something.
Which I believe is the purple one here.
If I
It's
make a
Assyrian
pyramid from a homebed. Oh, that's the leg, and that's the pyramid. Oh, a pyramid from 100 is close, so you're probably right with 128.
Let's see. It's from so basically this yellow line here is the ancient Egyptian civilization. I mean, doing it as big as this would be so wild. Oh, I think we had to nerf it because of the build height. What is the build height in this world?
Vanilla build height. Build height's going up in the next version of Minecraft.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, I think you've pretty much put it together here. Oh boy.
Oh, the build height's a lot higher than the pyramid is. You can see at the cobblestone pillar.
That is a massive pyramid. Oh.
It is indeed. Okay, and it's gonna it might take a little bit more facade work, but it's also, you know what? It's kind of okay that it's, well, I don't know. We'll mess with it. Oh, what happened there?
I press /undo.
I see. Interesting. That was pretty...
It keeps a copy of everything I do, and I can easily do /undo, and it will remove everything. Like,
Good lord.
if I do something that removes part of your building, I can always type /undo, and it will replace your building like how it was.
I see. Interesting.
But the pyramid I needed to be 128, and the pyramid you saw just yet was 100. So let me redo that. Bit of lag. A lot of lag. Ah, there.
It's kind of okay on my end. Yeah, so stationary fork, I think you will have I think you could have a good time with that one.
Okay, this pyramid falls completely in yours. Or over yours.
Over top. Okay, interesting.
I can lower the pyramid, huh? I can remove yours and lower this one a bit more in the ground.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
It is going to be.
This one?
Yeah.
And now I need to use the wooden axe to go from one corner to another.
This is pretty wild to watch. This is what I mean. I think Tuna. I feel like Tuna definitely could get into this. He would be able to grok this pretty easy, but I don't know that he ever has before.
This is how the Egyptians built the pyramids. They just grabbed their wooden axes and just...
That's my understanding, yeah. I hear the aliens helped them, but then again, I did hear that from a bunch of stoners on a couch, so who knows?
Oh, this will also be a big edit I'm going to do.
Yeah, stationary fork, I really want to try out Splitgate. So I'm probably going to grab it myself. I'm not going to be good at it. What's up?
Okay.
Meanwhile, folks, I am going to look up, let's see, pyramids, internal.
I think we should just start with adding some floors when I have the pyramid built.
Well, here's the thing, and this is just one of those great things where Sam has decided to make this more complicated than it needs to be. I want to do the interior of the pyramid. I want that to be legit. I want it to have the full interior of the pyramid. What is it? Subterranean chamber, the king's chamber, the rising tunnels, the queen's chamber, etc. And then on the outside of that, sort of around it, is where we're going to put the maze.
Did you see anything happen to the pyramid? Because it says operation completed, 70 blocks affected. So many blocks affected.
It timed me out.
Yeah. No, it did not time me out, but the whole pyramid is gone.
I see, okay.
Everything is gone. I will wait a few seconds before I build the pyramid.
Oh god. Oh god, everything's gone. Oh lord.
That was intended.
Good grief.
Now, the only part is I need to find the middle again.
Oh, true. Maybe if you draw a straight line from one corner to the other, like perpendicular.
Oh, yeah. There is, I'm just gonna do that. As in, there is less. There's also a command for us and line to create. Flying to one side from the other takes a long time.
Yeah, it's a big old beast. But once it's done, we're going to be able to have some good ancient Egyptian adventures. I'm going to put a maze in there, and I'm going to fill the maze with traps, and I'm going to put you all in survival mode, or maybe even what is it called?
Adventure.
Adventure mode. Yes. And then I'm going to wish you good luck. And you'll get to experience ancient Egypt as it wasn't.
The best kind.
The best.
Discover the tombs of Tutankhamun.
Yes. Indeed. Yeah, I should probably figure out what pyramid I'm actually modeling this after. Like what I need to figure out a little bit of history about this particular pyramid so I can actually build it with that history in mind. Hold on. There are Keck detectors? What the heck does that mean? Nagoya and Keck detectors. I feel like Keck detectors would be useful on the internet just to know when they're coming in, when they're on their way.
A bit of lag because I built the pyramid.
All right. I have a feeling when I bounce back in, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Pyramids here.
Oh, look at that!
Fully done.
Look at it. I think let's take a moment. Sandra, you're going to get a moment after this, but I think let's take a moment right now to honor Tuna and the work that he did with the tools that he had. He did his best, and it was very good. Tuna, I want to honor your sacrifice. I want to honor the time you put into this. I appreciate you. And then now a moment for Sander, because Sander did a thing that I don't think, like I said, I think Tuna could definitely figure it out over time, but this is just not something that we were sufficiently familiar with to know, like, yeah, this stuff is all a possibility. Oh boy. All right. Well, I like it. Now the building process begins. So I'm going to bring up for y'all. I want to show you the. Do I have a browser capture window up? Let's see. This one. Okay, so I want to try and build this inside the pyramid, and then there's going to be a sort of like a secret passageway, and that secret passageway is going to take you into the larger maze that will also be inside the pyramid, sort of filled in this this dead space surrounding. Does that make sense? Probably not. Let's see. Put this here so you can see it. Hello? Now what's the deal here? Okay. So here's what I'm trying to build. And is it going to work? I don't know, but we're going to find out. I will say, I'm trying to build roughly that. I'm going to abandon the idea that I'm going to be able to build it perfectly. It's a stepped construction with like I don't know, like a facade on the outside of it. Oh boy. Okay. So I think I need to start with basically just like a big, long tunnel inward and slightly downward. Entrance down to here. So part of this is actually going to be subterranean. Sander, are you still in here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. It got quiet. I wasn't sure. Secret tunnel through the mountain. Secret tunnel. Yeah, hey, if any of y'all have not watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, do yourself a favor. Watch that thing.
One of the best shows ever made.
Absolutely. It's very good. Orly Rose definitely has. It would seem. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Sander.
Yes.
I think it's too far. Oh god, it is.
What is too far?
The pyramid, it goes too far. It goes all the way up to it's almost to the turn of the millennia.
Oh. We can make it smaller. No problem.
Let me see.
This the same size as your pyramid. It's at 5, maybe 10 blocks bigger at each side.
Okay, so but 10 blocks bigger, that's a what is that? That's 100 years. That's 100 years, Sander. Okay, let me see. So if
I used 128 as the measuring size.
From negative 53 to maybe it was right, but it was just shifted because it also might have just been shifted to the right a little bit. Let's see.
It's both sides.
Negative 53 to negative 10. With this yellow line up in the sky here. So negative 53. What's halfway between negative 53 and negative 311?
Yeah, it's like 10, 20 blocks too big, maybe? Looking at the eye.
I think it just needs to be shifted to the left, honestly.
No, if you look at the left, it's also over.
No, no. I'm on the line right now.
Oh, wait, different left. We are on different sides of the timeline.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I can move to the left.
53. 2 plus 53. Okay, so 180, negative 182 should be the center point. So I'm going to mark this so that you don't have to hunt it down yourself, because I have been unclear. 82. I'm like, yeah, just like, throw it down there for the center line, whatever. Okay, so 182.
I did it with center lines. Center lines from your pyramid.
I know. I think I did it. I think I did it bad. Okay. The distance away from the timeline is good. But I think 182. I think center point is the pig head. It got shifted. Let me make sure that I've got the dimensions right as well. What was it? 50, 311, 53, 258. So 258 blocks long, which it's going to be very close to that already.
Can I remove it now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Oh, less lag this time.
Yeah, it seemed like it worked pretty well. I'm still watching it like slowly blink out of existence, though. There we go. All right, and it's gone. And then, yeah, the pig head. This is, I think, the center point. And if each side is 258 blocks long, then I think it's perfect. Because then it will extend precisely from one end of the ancient Egyptian civilization to the other.
Here we go then.
All right, cross your fingers, everybody. Whoa! It just worked. It just went. It's getting better.
Oh, yeah. That is.
Fantastique. Okay, it's magnificent. Sander, thank you. A moment of appreciation for Sander's wild Minecraft building skills. I'll need to do something with this wasteland that's now over on the side, over on the right side of the pyramid.
If you look at the wasteland now, you can see that I can easily fill it in if needed.
Well, now I'm curious. So yeah, I'll check it out.
I think if I even give you the stick that I used to do it, you can do it yourself.
But can I be trusted to do it myself, Sander?
There's a non-do command, so yes. But
Okay.
it only keeps... Oh, I did two more. Give me forward. Let me place that back.
I think I have to. I think I gotta get started on this building project.
Okay, let me look here.
So, y'all have seen the image that I intend to use. As a matter of fact, it sounds like it's possible you saw it for quite a while there. This seems like roughly the level we're talking about here, something like this.
Also, if you select an area with your pickaxe, like click one base and click with your right mouse and click another location with your left mouse, and type slash SAT and then the block you want to use, in this case, for example, air, then the whole region you selected will become air blocks.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. How? Let's see. Okay.
It's a bit dark inside.
It is a little dark. I think this whole area. I'm hoping to have the whole thing filled up with maze at some point. But yeah, right now it's going to be a mob spawner essentially.
I can set something for that.
For the maze?
No, sea land or floor. I thought.
Okay.
To keep the mobs out.
Yeah. All right. So I'm building. I gotta build this entrance here. It looks like I rise overrun about 1 to 2. Let's see. And I'll use sandstone to kind of block it out, and then I'm sure I will be jumping in with some other variations later on. Okay. Holy crap.
This better.
It is surreal to be in here with this floor. This feels very like... It feels very Shadowrun. It feels like I'm in the Matrix, but I've died in the Matrix, and now I'm like walking around in the afterlife. I don't know. It's very cyberpunk. Or maybe maybe Tron.
If you want another floor, I can easily swap it out.
No, it's all good. I like it. It's just eerie. The
I like the little islands. The small islands that were too high for the floor.
Are you referring to the mobs? Because there are a lot of like.
No,
Okay.
I'm referring to the island.
The actual land masses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Yeah, this whole thing feels like it feels like a simulation that's like starting to break down.
It's some kind of purgatory.
Yeah. Okay, so I think here is like the big portion of it. There's going to be a subterranean chamber down here as well.
And there's a staircase. Is that what it's going to be?
This is essentially a staircase, but there's an ascending passage, and I guess that starts right about here. Is that
I've
about
not
right?
looked at your drawing, so
Yeah, I think we'll put that like right. Yeah. You know what? Heck with it. We'll keep it at ground level.
you're a bit excluding. Boa. That we are excluding my key illustrations.
Hello. It's alright.
The Mikey mod.
Yeah, I am curious. Yeah, Muddy Monkey, what are you up to?
I've just ran over. I just got myself some food. I just ran up.
Oh yeah,
over
he's still
towards the pyramid.
survival.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was coming to check out the pyramid, and yeah, it's massive.
it's
Just climbing the side of it, just.
it's a
Not
bit big.
that massive. I built it in a few seconds. It won't be that massive. I built it in a few seconds.
I mean, it's huge. Sandra, it's huge.
I do feel like I'm walking on the stairway to heaven right now. Just.
Yeah, especially because it gets narrow as it goes up. It's a bit of an optical illusion. You know what? Heck, I'm doing it over top. Why not? I'm sure this is gonna screw me later, but I'll give myself a little bit of hang time here.
I will be AFK for a moment.
Okay.
My render distance is so short I can't see the bottom from the top.
Yeah, now you're just floating. Yeah, if you really want to see what craziness it looks like on the inside here, I've got a small entrance that probably needs to be. I'll give it a little bit more emphasis here, so at least it can be spotted. This is the entrance to the tomb. But my plan here, although it is definitely we're definitely talking spoilers. My plan is to have basically I just want it to sort of look like you're exploring the pyramid as it was, sort of just a recreation of the pyramid in Minecraft, and then a secret door that will take you into all of the winding passages inside the walls. I think that's my plan.
We can be spiffing British archaeologists coming to investigate.
Yeah. Coming to investigate, coming to get cursed. It is Fellowship Day, Orly Rose. Absolutely. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got a lot of accents in the building today. And anybody wishing to join us can head over to the Discord if you wish. Let me see. All right, so let me flash this up on the screen for a moment, and I've decided that in order to not accidentally leave this screen up, I'm going to just put this on screen part-time, and then I am going to put it back down before I start playing. The only time you're looking at this is if I'm also looking at it. Maybe not. Hold on. And there we go. Okay, so there it is. So right now I'm working on... I've done sort of the first half of that descending passage. And then now I'm working on the ascending passage, which means that I probably need to break it open into a much taller one. I think it's the Grand Gallery. I think so. And then I'm heading up to the King's Chamber, which it looks like is not on the center line. It's a little bit further than the center line. So I'm gonna eyeball it, if I'm honest with you. All right. Back into it. And I think, we still got a ways to go. So I'm gonna plug away on this.
Should the lines be so close to each other at the bottom?
I think I'm gonna do sort of like a landing thing, maybe, and then sort of wrap the staircase around. I don't know exactly how it is in the pyramids themselves. I'm not seeing a lot of pictures in that regard, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna.
Exactly, straight down and straight up is. I don't think the way they did it, but I think there should be some space between the staircase up and the staircase down.
Well, now I have to investigate, Sander. Why would you do this?
Would be a bit weird if there's no floor here.
I'm not seeing a lot of pictures in this regard. Let me see. Got the ascending passage. Basically, this joint right here. How do we transition between these two things?
They like their use of a lot of long corridors.
Yeah, a lot of long corridors and like ones without flat floors. What are you? Well, I think, we are sort of like setting it off, or we're sort of like blocking out the sections right now. We can always make an adjustment to the left or right once we actually are building the staircase, but I think for right now this will do us just fine. So let me see. And I think to actually like ascend and descend the staircase, we'll probably do something along the lines of, ooh, not bad.
Copy and pasting. Also
excellent.
Possible with it.
All right.
As I said, if you know how to use the world edit commands, then it will help you a lot. There are not a lot of passages in a pyramid that big.
As big as the one I'm building now?
Now, as big as the pyramids there, you don't see a lot of rooms in them.
Yeah.
So they are so big.
Yeah, it's like a big, it's just a big block of stuff with a few little tunnels kind of carved out on the inside.
It would cost a lot less stone if they made more rooms in them.
Yeah. It's also possible though that they wouldn't have stood quite as long then, because they wouldn't have been quite so sturdy.
True.
Okay, how am I doing? I'm pretty near the center point, I think. How's my line though? How's my line look? Yeah, that looks like about the right trajectory. Okay, so I want to go a little bit further, and then we're gonna hit the King's Chamber. And then we get into the real wild territory once we've built this all out into the actual sort of footprint. I'm gonna start messing with traps. I'm gonna start messing with secret doors. I'm gonna start messing with hidden entrances, secret tunnels through the mountain.
How big are the hallways that you want to make?
Sandra, that's a pretty good question.
Do you want hallways from 10 blocks by 10 blocks, going in a lot of different locations like maze?
I think yes.
And you can build traps in them and have wood to locations.
Yeah, you said,
But you can
well,
also make a lot of small passages. But you have the room. The only thing is,
I do think
big
I've got some room.
passages take longer.
I think I got the space for it. All right. Okay, and about halfway up this run, it looks like it needs to turn into the Grand Gallery, which is a lot taller. So who knows what that's about. But then there's this odd, like... What does the King's Chamber look like on the inside? I'm seeing a lot of, like, schematics, but not a lot of actual photographs. Maybe this is the closest we're going to get to a photo. All right. Let me get this kind of blocked out here. It looks like a big sort of square. It's almost like a pagoda. Or no, not a pagoda. What are those called? It's a very Eastern style of building, but... it seems like in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't massive on the inside. One, two, three, four, five. 5, 6. I don't know. That just doesn't seem like it's going to be that big. I'm not impressed with it. It doesn't seem very kingly.
I'm sure some creative liberties can take.
Yeah, maybe we can go bigger on this one. Okay, all right, Sander, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn the thing. So, if I wanted to fill in like a big square, essentially, how do I find? Do I just find the corners and then tap both of those, and then it's a command? Sander, I think we might have lost you on mic. I don't hear you.
My bad, I had myself muted.
There we go, okay.
Pick your X and press on one corner and on the other corner, but make sure you use a different mouse button on the other corner.
Got it?
Like if you click on it, it should say second position or first position. And you need to make sure those are different locations.
I did it out of order, but I did that.
Okay. Then you type // set SAT spatie, and then you can type the block you want.
Set, and then what comes after that?
The block you want. In this case, you type sandstone.
Hey, I did it. Baby's first command.
You can also do it like 80% sandstone, 10% stone, 30% cobblestone.
And it'll sort of randomize it?
Yes.
Interesting.
That's cool.
Okay. Okay, so now I can start to get this built out. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be brave. I'm just gonna try to do the whole thing with command blocks, or with not command blocks, with commands. Let's see if I I have to build myself a bit of a structure, right? Because I need a block to click on at one end of the...
Now, you can also type / POS and on 1 of 2. And that will also place the selection instead of your X. Type
/
POS 1 or 2. So / pause 1 on one location and / pause 2 in another location.
Oh, I see. Okay. And it'll just be like where I'm currently standing, essentially.
Yeah. You can also type the chords out, but just flying to the right location is easier than typing it out.
All right. So.
Oh, mighty Mowgli, by the way, you don't have this command available at the moment.
Yeah, I believe so.
Position
Alright.
1.
At the moment, they are operator only. I could set them for dingers, but not at the moment because I don't have the permission files installed at the moment.
Position 2. Okay, and then / was it fill? No, set.
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 You can also do / for base, and the first block is what you replace, and the second block is what you place. In case you ever want to build something around it.
Oops. Did not go straight up in the air, but hey, that's okay. All right. I'm starting to understand.
You can easily remove it with the X, just press the corners what you don't want and type / ZR.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh dang. Okay, so if I wanted to do like a prism, essentially something like a cube, I would do this block and this block at the opposite corner. But how do I make sure that it's hollow?
Type / type -sign hey. Als in H. So one corner from another corner en dan -H moet erin staan. Needs to be in there.
Yeah, Stationary Fork, I agree completely. Stationary Fork says, what would any of us do without Sander and his infinite wisdom? Okay.
Like, press one corner and press the corner above. And just type / set sandstone -hey should be it.
Now here's the thing. We've got a bit of a language barrier going on. Is this minus hey?
The minus sign and then letter hey.
And that's the thing. We don't have a letter hey. We don't have a letter hey in American English.
How do you?
That's not how we pronounce it. Is it H?
H.
H. Okay, sure. Okay, fantastic.
That's language power, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, too many arguments, it says. What does that mean? Interesting. Set sandstone minus H. Okay. It doesn't recognize that one.
Okay.
I probably... It's possible that I don't have my coordinates placed properly yet. Now, what happened there? Because it didn't give me my...
I might have given the wrong command. It's also possible. Because -hey of -. The language bar is killing me.
No, it's all good.
What I used to make the pyramid hollow.
Yeah, it's been for whatever reason, it's been a little wacky about whether or not it will let me set positions. I think I'm good now. Set sandstone -H. Yeah, it says too many arguments. Usage / set pattern.
Oh no, -h can not be used. But just fill it in. Don't make it hollow.
Sure.
Remove the -h. we will make it hollow afterwards.
Indeed. All right. I think I still got my coordinates set.
The minus is for only for structures like the pyramid. I was confused in that. So now we pick the. You have to still select this. So type / hollow.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Whoops.
What's the undo command?
/ undo.
/ undo. All right.
/ hollow should have done it, but I can also do it this way, the lazy way.
Yeah. Do I need to? Maybe I need to reselect my points.
Oh, I will just do this. Set.
Select one block in.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh. Could you undo
Sorry.
it?
Sorry. I will stop.
Yeah, it's done.
Excellent. Okay. So here's the question: is it big enough? Is it grand enough for a king? I don't know.
Not big.
Not really. No, it seems like it needs to be bigger, doesn't it? And it's got some little like it's got some little structures off to the side of it. It's a little bit like a beehive. The walls don't go straight up and down. They kind of go up and sideways around.
That's a bit harder to do with the command. I know it's possible, but I don't know the command out of my head.
Yeah, I wasn't anticipating we would use commands for it. For this bit of detailing. Oh, here's a good one. Ooh, what is this? Okay, so it's got like multiple floors, it looks like. Okay, that we can work with. Man, it's a big beefy sucker though. We need a lot more room. Okay, let's.
We need a bigger pyramid. Are you serious?
No, we don't need a bigger pyramid. Just like this is the king's chamber. This big blocky chunk right here, and that needs to be a lot bigger. And I think we can probably move it down a little bit to give us a little bit more room. Like I think I'm going to try.
You can use a / move command as well, but I don't know if you want to.
It was brought down close to the center. And...
Okay, I think maybe we call it like right here. Position 1. Okay, and then probably like similarly distant up here, except further away. Set sandstone.
Oh,
There we go. That's a bit bigger.
You have me stuck in it. Okay.
I've trapped you.
Yeah, there's also a / unstuck command. Like if you type / unstuck and in a block, then you will be moved up.
Oh, I gotcha. Hi, Hardhook. How you doing? Orly Rose says, so does this pyramid line up to the outside decades based on timelines of history? Yes, indeed. Yeah, the...
Is the staircase you made in the center of the room?
It's mostly in the center. Look. Sander.
I should not have asked that.
I think I'm gonna chip away at one of these walls because yes, it did extend too far. I'm getting the hang of it. I'm starting to figure it out. Let's see. This is 181. to 167. 181, 167. That is what, 18? 67 to 18, and then, or 67 to 81. 83 to 83, 93, 201, I think. So that, nope, that can't be right. What have I done? What have I done here? Oh, good lord. Oh, it does. 14, isn't it? Oop.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh, I have really good news. Your staircase is exactly in the center.
Exactly in the center. Not of the King's Chamber, but exactly in the center of the pyramid?
Your staircase is exactly in the center of the pyramid.
Okay.
It is indeed.
That much I did know because I had put the pig head down and I used that for the basics, the basis of my staircase.
But the chamber is not in the middle.
No. No, it isn't. The chamber needs to be, I think I need to, because I think it's a little too wide now. Just a little bit. I need to polish a little bit off this side. But I think it's 14, so 83, we need to be at 93, 97.
It's also a bit solid.
I mean, it's solid for right now. That can change. Anything can change, Sander. Scusi. All right, and then if I go ahead and shave off this wall here. There we go. So now it should be centered, I believe. It doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm still heavy on the left-hand side.
Yeah, if you look at the font from where the staircase is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You can tell the sea lanterns.
7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I wasn't even close. This is what I get for trying to do mental math. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. Should we make it wide and then no, because it's gonna look weird being that tall. Okay. All right, so I need to bop off 2 of these things. 2, all right.
If you would do this in normal creator, it would have already taken too long.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, this would have been a huge undertaking just to, I mean, even ignoring like the pyramid itself, like just getting this thing put up would have been an annoying amount of time. Doable, certainly, but then we start talking about the pyramid, and that would not have been doable. Oh, duh! I forgot to make this thing hollow. All right.
Yeah, just like the inner blocks. As in, no, the block here. This block.
Oh, I start from there?
Yeah, just make a selection of air from that block, and if you go to the top, and on this block, and type / set air.
Here we
Now
go.
it's hollow.
The King's Chamber.
Yeah, this is more kingly.
It feels a bit more regal, doesn't it? Okay, so there's like I believe there's a ground floor. Oh, what have I done? There's sort of a ground level here that's pretty tall, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 sort of levels up above. I think we're looking at like. Does it need to be taller? It might need to be taller. We'll find out. But I think it's something along the lines of like this, and then a bunch of shorter floors above. Say like 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's are
5.
really short floors, only 2 high.
Yeah, I mean, they're short-ish in the diagram too, but they're probably not that short. We probably need to either make this taller or maybe make the floor lower and move the whole thing forward a little bit so it connects with the staircase at the proper point.
Like in Minecraft, you most time want the floors at least 3 blocks in between, like 3 blocks of building space.
That's all
Otherwise, you're just gonna hate it later.
I want it to be comfortable.
You are probably correct. I can't get a sense of scale from this darn thing. I need Great Pyramid, King's Chamber,
Doesn't
photos.
need to be exactly 100% scale.
No, but like I don't even know, like, are these ceilings like 20 feet tall or are they like 6 feet tall? Okay, King's Chamber. Okay. All right, this is not as big as I thought it was going to be. It's a lot smaller than it looked in the diagram. Okay, interesting. Now, I don't mind making it more kingly, but yeah, it turns out we were much closer the first time around. It looks so much bigger. So, yeah, in that case, like these chambers up above are probably close to 2 blocks tall.
I don't know if I want it to be 2 blocks tall.
Now, that you may be totally
It's
right about.
accurate, but it's not fun.
They're surprisingly modest considering they're inside a massive pyramid.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I was really anticipating this whole thing was going to be, the interior would be like, well, something this grandiose, but no, it's like, it's got the footprint of like a rest stop bathroom. But
No, with treasures in that bathroom.
there's
Like you cannot even build a golden kuts or anything. Golden ship. Things like that should be in the room, and it would not fit in the first one.
It's true. Okay, so here's what I wonder. Would it be... it would probably get kind of boring, but I'm wondering if it would be an interesting part of the maze if these were like super narrow up at the top here, these chambers. Because based on how big the King's Chamber is, I'm guessing that the chambers above it are not... like, they're probably shorter than 2 blocks tall. There's like there's a version of a puzzle where you're sort of like walking around, but you can't see the floor underneath you. I think there's like carpet halfway up, and so you have to sort of navigate
The full carpet floor, and under the carpets are fence gates or walls.
Yeah, would that be an interesting portion of the maze for up here in these top chambers, I wonder?
Could be.
I think, we can always make this smaller at some point, but I think right now it's probably all right to be on the bigger side here. It'll give us more space to work with.
And I can make an example for what it was.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then, yeah, it works because you need a low ceiling to prevent you from being up too high, right? Like from stepping up over it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Something like this. Yeah, okay, so that is impassable. Okay. But now, what happened to you there, Sandra? Because you're flying now. Oh, what am I using here? This is like, I'm using smooth sandstone. That's no good. I think I'm gonna go with cut sandstone. That seems appropriate. Yeah, Orly Rose, I'm planning to do, like, what I would love to do with this over whatever period of time, and if people feel inspired, then tally-ho. I would love to see more of these builds, like, I don't know, the Discovery of America, maybe the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria as, like, a three-way ship sort of escape room or exploration or something.
This is your maze idea.
Yes. Yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking. So I'm wondering, like, would this be maybe for the upper sort of passages that are supposed to be, these upper chambers are apparently supposed to be pretty small, maybe a version of that puzzle in 5 levels where you have to go up and down between different levels a few times?
Would be a lot frustrating. I know that.
You're probably right. Let's do it. No. Also, what does that do underneath? Would that be weird underneath?
Oh yeah, it would definitely be weird underneath. Like, there needs to be a block more of space. Like, otherwise you would have walls in your ceiling. Or fences.
You'd be able to see them, but I think that's okay. I think it sort of contributes, like, it makes it look more like a ruin, honestly.
Yeah, but it would give away the wood they have to take on the open floor.
But I think they're gonna go from the top down.
Then it would not matter.
Yeah, I wonder, maybe we just do it for the very top chamber, and then we can sort of give ourselves more space down below. That way it's not quite so aggravating. But this whole thing is going to be a big old puzzle box. How do I?
I have an idea. From the staircase down to the staircase up, you can make it that the staircase up is destroyed and that you have to take a really long way around.
Hey, man, don't go blowing my whole thing already, Sander. That is roughly what I had planned. Yes. I was thinking that it would essentially be like there would be 2 phases. There would be one which is kind of a fake out, which is just like get through the historically accurate pyramid, and you would traverse down it. There would be a few traps.
I could also make it so that when you walk on the staircase, at a certain moment, the whole staircase would just collapse.
Now, I think that would be great. I think
with the structure blocks I showed you earlier, you can paste in different kind of structures, so you can make it that suddenly the staircase suddenly disappeared because new structures are placed, and those new structures don't have the staircase in it.
I think I like that. Also, I mean, we're working a lot with sand, so I don't even mind, because I think I like the visual effect of sand falling away. So that could be pretty cool if we make like
like an old tomb just collapsing in. This is all perfect.
Yeah, no, exactly. I want it to feel like an Indiana Jones movie. So if they have to, especially if they have to like run down a staircase while it collapses behind them, that would be lovely. I don't know where we'll sort of factor that in, but
doable.
But here's what I'm thinking. So the inside of the pyramid by itself is not much of a maze. So I think I'm going to do some traps. I think you have to go to the Queen's Chamber to like unlock something so that you can get to the King's Chamber, and then once you get up there, it's like, hey, you did it, you solved the maze. And then I think as you like go to leave the King's Chamber, I think the staircase drops away, and you're stuck in there. And then from the King's Chamber, again, I'm going to give you another spoiler. I'm pretty sure like you need to get into the sarcophagus, and that gives you the entrance into the rest of the maze, so you can actually escape.
It would be a lot of command things I need to do, but I'm down for it.
well, A, who knows when this will actually come to pass, but B, I don't know, like, does it might need to be command based, I suppose, but I also don't think it necessarily does. If we can just do signs with sand on top, right? That's the old school way.
That's the old school way, but it's not as impressive.
that is fair, and I know you're here to impress, Sander. You've done so pretty well so far. Looking around at this completed pyramid in one day.
One day, a few seconds.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you
Very
can't make it
quickly.
work.
Do we have somebody else in here? Nope, that is a zombie. And we can have mummies all over this place. I just realized we could put what are they called? Sand.
You can put a different texture pack on that makes the zombie skin look like, yeah.
Well, they've also got just the what are they called? The withers? No, that's not it. What are you? It's the desert mob.
Oh, the desert variety of the zombie.
Yeah. What are those called? I'm looking for the egg right now. Is it a husk? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
That seems like it might be right. Yep, there it is. All right, that's our mummy. And it'd be kind of fun. I'm guessing the husks.
We can give the husk a different texture pack.
It looks mostly right already. I mean, we can if we wish, but I don't think we need to make it too hard on ourselves. Plus, it's got a fairly unique attack, if I remember correctly. It dries you out or something.
No, it's mostly like a normal zombie.
Normal zombie. Okay, gotcha. But can they cross the maze?
Yes. If this maze, they can easily pathfind too. They can cross it easier than us because of their pathfinding.
Gotcha. Well, here's what I'm thinking. We make this maze up at the top. I'll start messing with the top level here and see if there's anything. Oh, come on now. There we go. As kind of a test run for this. You know what? I shouldn't worry about this right now. I need to get like the major pieces in place and quit focusing on the details for the moment. Because there's another chamber, there's the Queen's Chamber that I have not input yet. So that begins at the very start of the Grand Gallery. And then there's an air shaft. Okay. Alright. So Queen's Chamber ends like basically right where this one starts, but lower. So I think about halfway up here. Maybe a little less than half. Okay, so like right here is where I think the Queen's Chamber will start. And I'm just going to I'm doing it in a straight line. Sander, it's going to be fine. I'm doing it in a straight line again. And then it extends out.
It's even a slash line command.
Yes. Okay. I think, yeah, it ends right about here, but it's basically a straight line. I'm doing the position 1, position 2 thing. Is that the appropriate tool for this?
You can use it, whatever you want. For example, the red lines you saw from the from the corners of the pyramid that are used to find the center.
Mm-hmm.
Those are done with a slash line command, which can create a line from whatever location to the other location. If you have corners, 50 to 45 degree angle corridors, etc. And can use that one. And I also see I'm watching the stream at the moment. You have clouds turned on.
I do have clouds turned on, yes, at the moment. Is that unwise?
Dear.
Now the clouds are a bit in the pyramid.
They're a little bit in the pyramid. As far as I can tell, they're in the pyramid somewhat. Although, you know what? We could kind of use those to our advantage. Do you know why? Because they're at the very top level of the King's Chamber, which means that not only will the maze be invisible and you just have to traverse it however you can, but also it's occasionally going to get very foggy.
Oh wow.
You can place a smoke curtain with effect commands, like summon particles.
Sander, is this game still fun for you, I wonder? Because you know how to do everything in here already. Does that make it more fun or less fun?
A bit more fun because it opens a lot more possibilities.
To just have infinite power. That is so wild. Okay, so effect commands, is that like you said smoke? What other effect commands are there?
Particles is what you summon.
Interesting.
Like a smoke from a campfire, you can also summon that smoke with commands.
Interesting. Okay. Also, these clouds are so goofy. I wasn't really paying attention to them before, but yeah, now I'm just watching them float through the pyramid. Oh boy. Yeah, we got the fuzz called on us, Fork. It got too hot. It got too hot in here. Oh, do you summon like one puff of smoke at a time?
In this case, yes.
I see. I also know we're doing a lot of spider web.
And the smoke is gone.
Interesting. There's a burro down here. What happened here? Hold on. Where did Bill the Pony come from? Who did this?
Not me.
Mighty Monkey?
I'm not saying anything.
I have nothing to share. I have nothing to share or confess. Oh boy.
No comment.
Okay. Good old Bill the Pony. Oh, Bill the Pony's going to be lost somewhere inside this. Although Bill the Pony's a little bit like a blink dog or something. Because Bill the Pony just seems to be fine wherever Bill ends up. It's almost determinative. Like, if Bill is there, it's going to be fine. That was the Fellowship's biggest mistake they ever made, was to leave him behind before Moria.
And they should never have forgotten about build-up.
Okay. That's that. Luis, hello. How do you do? Is it safe to assume you do not have Java edition of Minecraft, Luis? Or will you be joining us to show off your... What if what if Luis jumped in here and she was just an absolute command wizard, like doing stuff even Sander wasn't sure about? Like, that would be very funny to me.
Oh,
You just show up doing absolute Minecraft magic. We're all just in awe. Okay, so Queen's Chamber is another chamber, but it's a small one. I'm really bad with that the set positions 1 and 2 thing, because I can never remember if it's the like upper part of me, the lower part of me, the like where is it setting the position, so I always end up 1 block too high or too low.
you can always use the X if you are not sure. But you are learning every day.
Sam's growing so fast. Oh boy. Let's let's see. All right. Queen's Chamber inbound. Bop. There we go. Excellent. Sander, are you proud of me yet? Actually, don't.
Yeah,
Please hold on. No, don't answer that because I just looked at it and I was like, it's a square. It's a square. That's nothing to be proud of.
You could not do the square at the start of the stream, so you can be a bit proud.
It's a square I could not have made before. I suppose you're right. I also, hey, here's a fun thing though. I did definitely make it in the wrong spot, so I have to go back to not being proud of it. You know what? Heck, maybe there's a little bit of overlap. Who knows? Nobody's ever been in that pyramid before. It's all speculative. No, it's in the wrong spot. I can fix this. You know what? I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like you're doing sneaky things because I'm getting a lot of lag all of a sudden.
It's not me.
Gotcha.
I'm not doing anything.
Uh-huh. Something's...
No, I'm doing something, and that's watching you.
Don't watch me. Now I'm all self-conscious.
A lot of people are watching you, so...
Oh, now I'm even more self-conscious. The thing is, I can hear your voice, so that definitely makes me more self-conscious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh. 11 blocks wide. That sucks. What do you say?
You could say we're double watching. We're both watching on stream and in the game.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And yeah, that just makes it more terrible. That's no good for me. Set sandstone. Sandra's just looming like a foreign god, like a god from a foreign planet.
I like that description.
Do you? You all right with that? That one goes down smooth. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay, you know what that is? It's fine. It's just fine. Not worried about it. How tall is this sucker gonna be? Queen's Chamber looks about the same footprint it's supposed to have, but it's like a third as tall. So we've done goofed up so far, and by we I mean me. Do you know what would be fun is we could have like why are you glowing? We could have the maze sort of take you around these chambers that you will have already had to go into these once before, but then it'll take you around them again, sort of like probably up here on the borders. We can use staircases to make like
we
little.
Can also make it so that the room
holes.
will be totally different.
Is that getting into command block territory?
No, that's going into structure block territory, and you can just place a redstone signal in a structure block, and it will place a structure.
Good grief.
So you have 2 structure blocks. If you go back to the mob hunt temple that I made, you can literally press a button on the wall, and it will reset the building.
That is so wild.
As in, I created a button there on the wall. Is the button with a sign above it saying reset building. Press that and the building will appear.
Okay. I knew that was like the original, like that was how you put it down, but I didn't realize you could just do that at will. Okay. Got the rough structure of the Queen's Chamber in there. Excellent. Mighty Monkey, what are your thoughts so far? How's the driving?
I think it's done quite alright.
It's something.
It's a something. It's getting there.
It looks like one of those castings that you see of like an anthill. Like when somebody pours molten aluminum into an anthill or something and then digs it out later. That's what it's starting to feel like.
True, as horrible as a massacre that is.
Indeed. Yeah, I think we've got a decent structure so far, and now it's just a matter of filling it with horrors untold. Oh man, the horror untold is going to be designing the darn thing. Like my original plan was to make the exit out through the top, but now I'm not sure. Now I don't know. This is a lot of space to fill with maze. Hey, whose idea was it to make this dang thing so big? Whose fool idea was it to make this thing so absolutely massive? What is wrong with you people? Who would do this? Oh, foolish. What a fool I have been. But hey, it looks great. I mean, it does look really good from the outside. There's something very pleasing about it, and I think get a couple more of these glowing pillars in there. I think we're in good shape. The entrance looks kind of funny.
Oh, the pillar you made on the small pillar that's on the left side?
Yeah, it looks pretty. It looks extra small now in comparison, but
you can literally copy and paste this and slash paste it everywhere.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I assume I have to like
select it, like how you select the things you want in thing.
Indeed. Okay, so I probably need like an extra.
You need to place block to copy and paste it.
Yeah.
And now you can destroy the block. And you go to the opposite corner.
Oop, I did definitely use the wrong axe. Okay, so undo. Oh no, but that's the edit button. Oops. Okay. Hey, Sandra, the wheels are coming off.
You can type slash redo to go back if you accidentally undo something.
Okay, and I need the. Okay, you got the block. Thank you, Sandra. All right, there's that.
Okay. You have it selected?
Yeah. Holy crap, Sander! I don't. I can't stop myself. I'm a mess.
Okay, what you would like to do is you would like to stand to the building. So where I stand, for example, stand here.
Okay.
Look at the structure and type / copy.
All right.
But you don't want to do that in the air. You want to stand somewhere that you know, because of later, for placing it, it will be placed exactly in the way you are copying it now.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
If you're going to stand somewhere in the world, and you look at the north, then it will be placed that way.
Excellent. Now, I will say, it just said 84,000 blocks affected.
Then you copy the big space.
I think... Did I get the pyramid?
I can check for how many blocks I will get.
I might have goofed up my my position setting.
It says 108 blocks affected by the copy and paste, so it should be 108.
All right.
Now, what's the amount of blocks it says now?
Well, if I could spell, I would let you know. I've misspelled the word copy twice. 108. Okay, we're good there.
Okay, and if you stand here, for example, and look to the pyramid and type / paste.
Well, good golly. Glorious.
It's that easy.
It is that easy. And I assume you can do this with like bigger and more complex structures too, huh?
Yes.
Oh boy.
It's just the basics.
This is a dangerous tool, Sander. I can see why you're attracted to this power. I also think if I remember correctly, I put a tiny period here somewhere that was actually the construction of the pyramids.
You did, but it's now gone.
No, here it is. It's right here.
Oh, what? I thought it was just inside the pyramid.
No, I mean this piece right here. This represents how long it took to build the pyramids. So that purple block there is like the beginning of the Egyptian Empire, because I knew I knew the Egyptian Empire was a very recognizable one. It was one that I wanted to mess with. But this tiny little lad.
I don't see the small pyramid you were talking about.
It's because you are not thinking small enough. It's out here along the timeline. It's 2 blocks wide.
No, you also had a small pyramid standing in the corner here.
Inside the pyramid?
No, just outside.
Huh.
Oh, am I mistaken? Oh, I thought here was.
Oh, I think I was like I had gotten maybe a start on building one. I don't know.
And that pyramid was not higher than this, what I'm standing now.
What is this here?
Something like that.
we got our first graffiti. Actually, does Bill count as graffiti? I wonder.
Bill is a living organism.
Bill, I think, yeah, it's like a living graffiti, which sounds pretty cool.
Or pretty horrific.
No, I think Bill can be happy.
Bill can be happy.
Bill can be happy. But yeah, this tiny pyramid here represents. Okay, now how'd you do that? Because I tried to do that for a long time and I couldn't get that sucker figured out. Sander, dang man.
Stairs angles. Every stair needs to be rotated in the right direction. And you had one stair in this direction. That needed to be in this direction.
Well, fabulous. Okay, well, it's good to know that at least this will look right, even though it does look very, very funny. But yeah, it only took about 20 years to actually build the Great Pyramid. So I have got this to represent the actual length of the build. And then, of course, here is the actual size of the build.
I like the size one better.
It is massive.
Humongous.
Okay, and then there's like an underground passage, and then there's some air tunnels, which I think might be funny to just like leave the air tunnel so you can see the outside, but you can't get there.
That would be long air tunnels. If you just set your render distance a bit lower, then you will also see the outside.
If I set the render distance to a bit lower.
Yeah, if you set the render distance to 2 or 3, and I stand in the middle, then it would be like there is no pyramid.
I suppose you're right. Oh boy.
Because pyramids will not render even when you are inside it.
Yeah, I've got my render distance is big enough. If I stand in the middle, I can see the whole thing.
Me too. But
I lose a little bit of the outside edge if I'm at this far end.
If I would like, for example, 5 chunks, then no way. I'm going to see a bit of the top, but then the rest of the chunks will be gone.
That would be a pretty terrifying illusion to actually have in a maze too, because you feel like you can see the end of it and you keep getting closer and it keeps getting further away.
Oh
Oh, when you get closer, a ball appears out of nowhere.
Let's see. Okay, I think this is a pretty decent start. Orly Rose, I believe it. I believe you're an intrepid explorer. But y'all, I think I'm gonna be on here for. I think I'm gonna be on doing this. I'm gonna duck off a little earlier. I'm not doing a full 4 hours of this one to get ready for our stream later today. But I'm probably on here for another 20 or 30 minutes.
I already know that I will be sleeping later today.
You'll be sleeping later anyway?
Yeah, I will not be there.
Sander, we'll miss you. Hopefully you can catch it later on. I don't know. How do you... I'm going to assume that Mighty Monkey, just simply based on your living graffiti, I'm going to assume you're a pretty big fan of Lord of the Rings.
I'm a fairly big fan.
Excellent. Sander, where are you at on Lord of the Rings? Is it something that meant a lot to you when you were younger, or is it something that's like, yeah, it was there?
I have not even watched it.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Which is great, because then it will be no spoilers.
Excellent.
I've never
It
read
makes
the
you
books.
reading the story a lot better. Same for Percy Jackson. I've done the first, but the current stories, they are so much fun when you don't know it.
Yeah, it definitely adds something.
Percy
All right.
Jackson's a good one. A lot of my friends are massive fans of Percy Jackson, but I was never into it.
Yeah,
Until now.
I was kind of the same way. It was something that I knew there were lots of folks who were fans of it, and my brother actually got into it before I did. I was really into a couple of other ones. There's a really, really good one called the Bartimaeus trilogy, which I would say has the highest sort of difference between its overall popularity and how good I thought it was. I thought it was excellent, and I'm shocked that more people aren't super into it. But yeah, it was something that like not a ton of folks had read, even ones who were pretty deep into the that genre. But that one was fantastic. I really liked Children of the Lamp, and so I was reading a lot of stuff that was very similar to Percy Jackson, just not Percy Jackson.
I always find that whenever I go to cons or whatnot, it's that I always see someone in a orange camp Half-Blood shirt.
Mm-hmm. Orly Rose says, I wasn't into Percy Jackson either. It's entirely new to me. Yeah, I think compared to Harry Potter, like a lot of folks had found my channel via Harry Potter, and then the Percy Jackson stuff, they wanted to stick around and check it out. And so I think if I had started with Percy Jackson, I might have caught some folks who might have been new to Harry Potter. But yeah, I think the way that it went down, I'm catching a lot of folks who were familiar with it maybe, but hadn't read it or hadn't experienced it for themselves. Okay, so I think to cap it off today, I am going to give not like a full-on tour, I think, but as you can see, the shell is complete. The interior, we have got the tunnel. I need to build out the gallery into something that's a bit bigger, but we have got the tunnels sort of outlined. Oh, uh-oh.
Oh yeah, now that's me working on something.
What?
I tried to get all the grass and stone, etc., outside to be sand.
Oh, good grief. Oh, boy.
Oh wow.
I think if you move that line a little bit further forward, I would say as long as it stays off of the timeline itself, because I'm gonna put a railway here. Actually, no, the railway could probably go over sand, couldn't it?
Yes.
Interesting. In that case, do as you will. As long as I can still find these pylons later, the red wool ones.
Oh. Yeah, if I'm doing it correctly, only the dirt, stone, grass will be sand.
Gotcha. Excellent. Okay, yeah. So for anyone who's just catching up with us, my name is Sam. This is Sidecar Stories, and I am joined today by Sander, our master builder, and Monkey, who's in to hang out today and has put in some fun little Easter eggs, honestly. But we are currently building the pyramid, a historically I'll call it historically kind of accurate. We have got the major sort of passages inside blocked out. We've got the Queen's Chamber, the King's Chamber, and then this whole thing is going to be a big old escape room maze puzzle box thing eventually. But it sits upon our timeline. I went ahead and created... You know how much... Sander, this timeline, I just realized, would have been so much easier if I had had those commands before. But hey, that's all right. I should have done more research. These wool lines up in the sky represent different civilizations of the world. And for instance, we've got pre-classic Maya civilization. The yellow line is Egyptian civilization. And so, as you can see, the pyramid extends, each block is 10 years. And if you look at this yellow line, or look at the width of the pyramid, you can see the entire duration of ancient Egyptian civilization. But we've got a bunch of other ones in here too. Let's see, who is this? This orange line is ancient China, which, as you can see, like this is part of the reason why this is fun, is because you can compare these against one another. I'm going to show you something shocking, which is that this pink line is the Persian Empire. Look how short it is. We've got the Roman Empire, which is this orange line here. This one's going to continue some ways along. We're approaching present day. Like I said, each one of these blocks is 10 years wide. The Byzantine Empire is this crazy purple block here. We've got the Aztec Empire, another real shorty, which is just strange to consider because, you know, when you think of think of one of your grandparents or somebody who's lived to, say, 80 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a third of the length of this entire block. If you've got somebody who lived to 100 years old, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Somebody who's 100 years old, which is, you know, it's rare, but it's certainly not unheard of. Almost half of the overall duration of the ancient Aztec Empire. Up here we've got the Ottoman Empire. This one cruises, and then we are very near the present day. We have got the, let's see, where are we at? We have got the 1400s. So this is roughly the era that your average D&D game sort of emulates. 1500s, 16, 17, the 1800s. We're getting into Charles Dickens territory here. The 1900s. I've got a whole thing here. This is to represent the coal age. This is what you're now entering the Industrial Revolution, 1760 to 1820/40, depending on what sources you've got. And the ultimate plan is to have a bunch of landmarks on here representing different things. This, I believe, I think this was Tuna's contribution to represent coronavirus. I believe Tuna has commemorated coronavirus here on the timeline, which is pretty good. But then the year 2000 to 2020, there's not a lot of space here, but as you can see, there's a lot of room to build things, and I want to continue to do stuff like, for instance, we are most definitely going to have the Great Wall of China available here at some point in some manner. Now, what is it going to be? What sort of minigame is going to be involved with it? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It is also possible I'm not going to be the only one presiding over this project because, well, your boy's got a lot going on. I might need some help with this one, but we shall find out.
You have it.
Indeed, I've got some excellent help, and boy, oh boy, is this project going to go a lot faster with these this building expertise. Okay, so here we've got the Assyrian Empire, and I think I'm gonna head backward in time to show you all the rest of this timeline here. But ancient Egypt is right here, and I just want you to sort of keep an eye on how far we go. Compare sort of like the duration of ancient Egypt and its proximity to the modern day with how far back we're about to go. You can see this really long brown line here and this green one as well. Let's keep heading back, and we will see what there is to see. So this green line is the Indus Valley civilization, which is in India. This is a civilization that, as you can see, it had quite a duration. And then the brown one, I think, is the longest one, if I remember correctly, which is the Sumer Mesopotamian civilization. Now, this one was pretty loosely organized, but you can see like how long that was compared to something like the Aztec Empire, which was relatively short. We hit this red line, keep on heading back. I want to say one of these is Quetzalcoatl, and then one of these is a more ancient Chinese one. Yes, Yellow River, China. Yellow River, China civilization. Again, super long. And we just keep heading back. And this, I believe, is the end of our timeline. This is the Quetzalcoatl in Turkey. This civilization, this is, I believe, 10,000 years ago is this marker here, if I remember correctly. Yes, 10,000 years ago. This is 8,000 BC. So you can see just how far back it goes. And I believe there's some evidence of Aboriginal civilizations dating earlier than this, but I think this is one of the ones that's more commonly accepted as like an organized civilization. And so, yeah, you can see just how far this goes. But each one of these blocks represents 10 years, and so you can travel this whole timeline, travel through time. And I want this to event my dream for this, if we were to really dedicate time to it, would be for it to represent all sorts of stuff throughout history. And you can travel forward, and there's going to be a little railway here, so you can just ride it from one end to the other and experience the whole span of civilization. I think that's going to be fun. Also, one little detail that y'all should be aware of. This, from left to right, represents the length of time, the duration of the Egyptian Empire overall. But if you would like to know the length of time that it took to actually build this, the Great Pyramids, what is your point of reference? Well, pretty long civilization. It probably took a lot of that time, right? Actually, no. Here it is. This is the length of time that it took to build the Great Pyramids. That's 2 blocks wide, folks. That is 20 years of time. They were able to accomplish a lot in 20 years, but this is the duration of time that it took to actually build the Great Pyramids, and then this is a more accurate version of it. So, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed. Sander, thank you a ton. Monkey, thank you a ton as well. I think I'm pretty close to logging off for the day, but or excuse me, not for the day, just for our first of 2 streams, because this is, after all, this is Book Fair. And one of the things we are doing during Book Fair is a bunch of extra stuff. We're trying out a bunch of extra streams, and I'm going to see how y'all feel about these things. And then maybe as we've got time for more stuff in the future, or just a random one-off stream, I will let patrons be the ones to decide what those extra streams become. I want to say thank you a ton to my patrons, which include Sander. Sander is subbed way high up there, so Sander, thank you a ton for that. And you have been for a while as well.
Yeah. I still hope you get the presents.
Say again?
I still hope you get the present.
Yes, indeed. I'm going to try and grab that tomorrow morning before streaming. And if not, I do know that they have got sufficient time that I'll be able to grab it after the end of Book Fair if I can't get it during Book Fair. But I'm gonna try to get the trouble is
lying there for almost 2 weeks.
What's up?
I feel like it's been lying there for almost 2 weeks.
It has been there. Let's see. It's been about a week at this point. Yeah.
It feels a lot longer.
Yeah, I think the length of time it took to actually get here was part of it. But we, as of popular demand, I've created a higher level, the shocking sequel tier over on Patreon, and I believe Dahlia has jumped in on that one. But we've got the we've also got
I will be staying where I am.
Say again?
I know that I will. Oh, I already know that I will be staying where I am at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have for a while, and I appreciate that a ton. Luis, the Goat Lady, and Deb is also over there at the Novel Nouveau level. The chapter champions, we've got Sparkle Lovegood, Good Courage, Daniel, Gems, Vicky, Ali D, who I've been calling Allied for quite a while, Marin Ver, hello, Marin Ver, Orly Rose, hello, thank you a ton for being a patron, Jade Dragon, and E, and then we have also got our pristine pages. I've got a lot of levels here because I was anticipating just having a few, and then people kept saying, hey, bump it up, bud. Dan, Amy Thompson, Neens, and Holly, thank you a bunch. And then, of course, our bold bookmarks. We have got Reed, Sing Se, Samya, Sapphire Lady, Stationary Fork, Kim Hauser. Y'all, thank you a bunch. And if you want to check out what Patreon is all about, we are currently doing some... I just saw that Dolly is in here as well. Dolly says, "You bet your butt I jumped on it, Sam." Indeed. Book Fair is our once a year, it's our annual event where I'm doing a bunch of streaming for a week, I'm trying some new stuff, and you can head over to Patreon if you want to learn more about it. But it's not just that, I'm also doing my first ever run of merch. Over on Patreon, you can find that there. It is not a merch store. Basically, just pick whatever level of patronage makes the most sense for you, and then you're going to just automatically get the merch that's attached to it. If you join during Book Fair, you're going to get stuff at sort of a higher level, and then if you join after Book Fair, you can still get that stuff, but it will be at this sort of... I'm going to take Patreon's recommendation as opposed to slugging that slider all the way down until it won't let me go down anymore. We have got a couple of different types of patron rewards at the bold bookmark tier. You can get access in Discord to the private patron channels and to the archive chats. As a pristine page, you can get some of the behind the scenes stuff, and you can check out the side karaoke's while I've got them edited up there. You can, at the chapter champion level, you can jump in and see. I mean, that's really the growth level. If you want to see Sidecar Stories really grow and do more, y'all are my first line of feedback for new projects like the Shelf Confidence podcast, etc. And then beyond that, that is just a request that I've had to make higher tiers because some folks are just like, hey. I want to be generous, and I know that Twitch, takes a huge cut of that, and so how can I support the channel in bigger ways? Folks like Sander, like Dahlia, like Luis, etc. Y'all are fantastic, and basically, I don't know if I make anything that is at that level, but I do know I've got people who want to jump in at that level, so I really, really appreciate it. So I added a bunch of merch up there, and hopefully that will give y'all what you were hoping for. But Sander, thanks for hanging out today. I hope you're able to get some good sleep later.
Oh, it's not too late.
Okay, good. Yeah, I bumped my streams for the rest of this week up by an hour to hopefully catch some of my overseas friends for at least the first streams of the day.
The first stream are easily doable.
Okay, excellent. And yeah, Monkey, I take it you're probably in the UK someplace?
Yeah, I'm in the UK.
Excellent. And so yeah, hopefully not too late for you either. But Little Lucy, hey! Little Lucy, it's been, I see you over on Instagram all the time, but I don't think I've ever seen you in a stream before. Hello. But folks, I think that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for joining me. We may duck back into Minecraft at some point and explore here. Like I said, once I've got, if I've got a moment where I'm deciding like, hey, I've got this one-off stream, or hey, I'm going to do a new stream every week, patrons are going to be the ones who are going to be able to vote on that. And I will see you all later tonight for episode 1 of Lord of the Rings. It has been long awaited by both y'all and by me. I can't say I'm committed yet to fully reading the entirety of the series, the entirety of the book, the trilogy, but we're getting that first chapter in tonight, and I really look forward to seeing y'all there. Sander, Monkey, have a good one. I'll see y'all later. Maybe not later today, but I will see y'all later on.
Am I allowed to continue
Absolutely.
on the document?
Yeah, 100%.
You might see that in a mod maybe.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. If y'all feel free to continue to hang out in here. I would say as I'm going to be away from my setup here. I think. No, I think we can probably keep the IP in chat for now. We'll probably pull it out later, just because we're gonna jump back to the whitelist system, just so we don't get any griefing in there or
The
anything.
whitelist system can be on even if the IP is visible.
Okay. All right. Yeah, feel free to hang out in here as you will. But folks, I've had a good one. This has been fun, and I will see you later on tonight. Adios.